Welcome back. My name's David Knox, and I have multiple system atrophy, MSA. One thing that's not very well understood about a neurodegenerative disease like MSA is MSA. It varies so wildly, and they don't really understand most of how MSA operates. We have a few biomarkers and leads, glial cells and alpha-synuclein, but the exact pathology, how these things start, stop, and pause, and how it's different between everybody in the world, is still a mystery. One thing I want to talk about today is cognitive decline. So it's a very overlooked topic with MSA. Of course, as we all know, MSA is a very rare, progressive neurodegenerative disorder that affects millions of people across this world. And it also affects multiple systems in the body, including the autonomic nervous system, including movement control. So while MSA is commonly associated with motor symptoms such as muscle stiffness, difficulty with movement, cognitive decline is also a significant aspect of this condition. Firstly, let's understand what cognitive decline refers to. First, it encompasses a range of cognitive functions, including memory, attention, language, problem solving, and executive functions. In the context of MSA, cognitive decline can occur in varying degrees, with some individuals experiencing mild cognitive impairment, while others are facing severe cognitive deficits. It is crucial to recognize that cognitive decline in MSA is distinct from other neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. One of the reasons why cognitive decline in MSA often goes unnoticed is because it's overshadowed by the more prominent motor symptoms. However, studies have shown that around 65 to 75% of individuals with MSA will experience cognitive impairment during the course of their illness. The decline of cognitive abilities can significantly impact an individual's quality of life as it affects their ability to perform daily activities, maintain relationships, and make decisions. So understanding the specific cognitive deficits in MSA is essential for early detection and appropriate management. Research has shown that the most commonly affected cognitive domains in MSA include attention, executive functions, and memory. Attention deficits can manifest as problems with focusing, maintaining concentration, and easily getting distracted. Executive functions, which involve planning, problem solving, and decision making, can become impaired, leading to difficulties in organizing daily tasks or managing finances. Memory impairment can affect both short-term and long-term memory, making it challenging to recall recent events or learn new information. And of course, my video will not be complete without some pictures, a PowerPoint to say. So over here we actually have a study, a very big study of over 100 and some patients out of China. Due to a technicality, 20-something of them were omitted, so we're down to 84. Very large group for studies, because if you think of most clinical trials are pretty small. I mean, one I was getting into only had 9 patients and one had 12. So getting one that has 84 legit patients, with the whole process is very well. And of course, the higher the population count, China, India, etc., the more cases they have to look at. So the study, I will note the link in the study where I'm taking some of this presentation from, but it's very fascinating. When we look at this image right here, the first one, we actually see, using a different type of positron emission scan, a PET scan, we got DAT scans and we got PET scans. This one's a little bit different. It's called a FDG PET scan, and that stands for fluorodeoxyglucose. So most PET scans are looking for structural changes. Think of atrophy, shrinking, swelling, things like that. Well, shrinking rather. This one's looking for changes in metabolism of the brain, right? So it's really important that we understand there's many ways to look at it. And the MSA has not really been looked at as far as hypometabolism is concerned. That's what this study is for. Structure, things we know what to look for. Hot cross, atrophy, shrinking, this, that, we kind of know what to look for, telltale signs. But the hypometabolism is characterized by a decrease in brain glucose consumption. Decreased brain glucose consumption, and is a main feature in many neurodegenerative diseases. So this is one of the first studies to go looking at this in the brain. And that's what this graph, these scans show you. The different layers of attention, executive function, language, and memory. what parts of the brain are having hypometabolism, or this lack of brain glucose consumption, leading to cognitive decline that we do see in MSA. Further, this chart was broken down. Again, I will cite the source for this. There were a total of 84 patients that were confirmed. Now, there was a technical machine glitch, so they admitted the next like hundreds, next 20-something patients. So these ones, the machines were perfectly fine. We see that the top one, mma-c, mini mental state, what was it, mma-c? I can't remember what that was. mma-c, mini mental something examinations. Is what we all go through when we go to neuropsychology. That's what that test is, right? You're writing pictures, words, memory recalling, things like that, word associations. So you see that the first column all the way across, there are actually 4 columns. And what you have are people with MSA in general, but then you have NC, which is normal cognitive. They were classified according to these studies, right? According to the neuropsychology test that we've all had for MSA to see how bad our cognitive decline is. Normal cognitive impairment, normal, which means none. You see that there's 2 people that actually tested on the PET scans, which we'll get to here in a second. MCI is minimal cognitive impairment, so 0. And then D stands for dementia. Now, I know we're going to say, oh, dementia, it's a red flag. You don't have MSA. There's dementia, and then there's dementia. Have I lost you yet? Dementia was a title in the medical field is what you're thinking about. Somebody has dementia. That brain activity is going, and they don't recall, don't remember. Can't, we all know what dementia is. We know people with dementia. Horrible thing to happen. But dementia, and that's not talking about disease. It's just talking about the impaired ability to remember, think, and make decisions that interferes with doing everyday activities. So that's what this representation is. And all this is legit from the scores and the testing that we do even over here in the United States of America, across the world for MSA and neurodegenerative diseases. So when you go down the columns, you start to see from left to right, after you get the PET scan, that's what these columns now are in red. After they have the brain scan, you see how many of those actually have the number of the patients out of 84. What percentage are they impaired, right, by their test results? So it's pretty the status quo. The average is right there in front of you. On the next one, we see people with normal cognitive abilities. Like when I first went to IU Health and did my first neuropsychology, they said we're starting to see the beginning of this cognitive decline, but it's minimal, if you can even call it minimal. So that's what you see here. You get 6 patients, for example, in executive function that are 19% impaired. It's not horrible. So a typical MSA patient, such as myself, I guess you might say, when you're first starting out, this is what you see. Not very much loss of cognitive ability. Then you start to get over to minimally, those are medically classified as minimal cognitive impairment. Sorry, brain fart there for a second. You start to see the patients, how many of them are there, and then the percentage that they're impaired. 24 equals 67% of their spasms in videos, not good. You see the percentage that they're actually impaired in these executive functions, attention, memory, visual, spatial functions, and language, right? And you get to those that are just really bad MSA. They've progressed, or it is built up in the brain to begin with. It can come early. Most of the time, you hear it coming late. You see them with absolutely horrible scores, right? I mean, those are the percentage of them that have, with the PET scans, are showing that they are absolutely impaired cognitively using this PET scan by looking for hypometabolism or that decreased brain glucose consumption. So it's a very, misconception, I will say, that there's no cognitive decline. I've heard it today. I heard it yesterday. I've heard it before. And I'm not saying people are wrong. I'm just saying we don't know. Your opinion of cognitive decline, somebody in front of me saying, hey, you know what, we don't have cognitive decline with MSA, is okay to say, because they might be basing their facts, in this case, or opinions, but rather facts, on data that is outdated. because MSA has not been looked into, because really it's Parkinson's is what's leading the way in ALS, big name, things that pop into your head when you hear about these diseases, they've been looked at. So with the limited funding that we get for MSA, obviously we got to spread the money around, and not everything can be looked at once. It takes time for these, and that's why this really nice Chinese medical survey, medical research comes up with this, which is really nice. Okay, so as of now, the exact mechanisms underlying cognitive decline in MSA remain unclear. However, it is believed that the accumulation of protein, which we all know of alpha-synuclein, in certain areas of the brain may play a role. This protein buildup disrupts the normal functioning of brain cells, leading to cognitive impairment. While there is no cure for MSA, early diagnosis and proactive management can significantly improve the quality of life for individuals experiencing cognitive decline. Multidisciplinary approaches, with many doctors acting together, involving neurologists, neuropsychologists, occupational therapists, and speech therapists, can aid in managing the cognitive symptoms. Cognitive rehabilitation techniques such as memory exercises, attention training, and compensatory strategies can help individuals adapt to their cognitive limitations and maintain independence for as far as possible. So in conclusion, cognitive decline in MSA is an often overlooked aspect of this neurodegenerative disorder. It is critical that we raise awareness and foster understanding about this aspect of MSA. By recognizing the cognitive deficits, advocating for early detection, and implementing the appropriate management strategies, we can improve the lives of those affected by this devastating condition. Let us work together to support the individuals with MSA and their families as they navigate the challenges of cognitive decline, ensuring they receive the care and support they deserve. One thing I do know for sure is that research is right around the corner. It's happening every day, just not here in the United States of America, but all across this world. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed this, I love you to death. Thank you.